Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Okay, so this live stream just exclusive here to the Geeks Den. Um, but last night, you guys may have caught it. I actually simulcasted live stream from YouTube and here. And we talked a little bit about the Galaxy S21, but after doing some extensive research, these are my quick thoughts about the Samsung Galaxy S21. Now, shout out to a couple of people that pretty much put out some really good information. First of all, Sneed Mobile Tech for explaining the um, the 5G connection that the Galaxy S21, the S21 Plus, and the S21 Ultra will have. So I'm gonna reference his video so you guys can go and check it out and get more insight to it. But basically, he confirmed that all three models will have millimeter wave access. Now, if you don't know what millimeter wave access is, basically, let's just say that out of the 5G technology, there's two types. There's sub 6 gigahertz, and then there's millimeter wave. Sub 6 gigahertz, basically very similar to LTE speeds, but a very broad range for connectivity. And then you have millimeter wave, which delivers that high speed gigabit per second data, which a lot of people are really actually wanting, especially if you're on Verizon and you're able to test ultra wideband. You're pretty much seeing like 3 to 4 gigabits per second on the download, which is insane, right? Downloading a movie that's 4 gigabytes in size will take really really fast to do that. Um, there were fears that basically, like what happened with the Google Pixel line. Um, the Pixel 5 supports millimeter wave, but the Pixel 4a 5G doesn't, unless you get the Verizon variant, then it does. And so people were kind of worried that that would happen with the Galaxy S21. That's not happening with it. All three models support millimeter wave. Sneed was able to find it on the FCC listing that it does have connections with N260 and N261, and I believe N261 at 40, what was it, 40 megahertz or 40 gigahertz, if I'm trying to remember. Um, so yeah, you have a millimeter wave 5G connectivity with the Galaxy S21. Um, However, there are some things about the Galaxy S21 that that basically I feel like that a lot of people are saying that it's a regression from what you were getting before. Most notably, removing the charging AC adapter out of the box. I hear both sides of the argument spectrum when it comes to this. People are like, well, we're trying to cut down on industrial waste. People have their old chargers, yada yada yada, etc. 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 Make the earth more green, and okay, you know what? Like, those are all great, valid points. I'm not knocking that or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I'm all for industrial waste, but let's cut the crap and call it for what it is, right? Samsung's only reason for doing this is exactly what the homie Sneed said: profitability. I couldn't agree with him any further than that. Um, Profitability is where it's at. They're not really concerned about industrial waste because, and here's the thing. This is where I'm going to throw in my little spill on it. If, like Apple, they were concerned about industrial waste and making the earth green, then stop making annual hardware upgrades and just upgrade your current hardware with the latest software. Okay, it's no secret when it comes to these companies that a phone like the Galaxy S21 could last another 3 or 4 years. It definitely can. And um, yeah, so what's the reason that I'm saying that they want to cut down on industrial waste? If they're going to cut down on an industrial waste, then stop building annual hardware upgrades. What's up, Eric Walker? What's going on? But that's my take on it. So really what it's all about is profitability. They saw what Apple did. Apple removed the AC charger out of the box and just gave the cable. That's it. And while they knocked them last year for doing that, they're doing the same thing now. Samsung has become Sam Apple. But nonetheless, right, they say that people have their chargers, and that's fine. People have old chargers. It may not be the exact same type of charger that would work, and I'm talking about peak performance, right? We're talking about fast charging capabilities. So, if you have an old Samsung charger for maybe like a Galaxy Note Edge, that's gonna charge the no, it's not. It would need Type C because everything's moved to Type C. But let's just say like in the last 2 years, yeah, you may be able to use like a Galaxy S20 charger, Galaxy S10, but then at the same time too, they're selling the charger separately. So if you want fast charging, you got to buy it separately. Again, there, the pitch idea is to eliminate industrial waste. I have other ideas how they can eliminate industrial waste. But the other thing is the magnetic stripe technology support that it doesn't have MST, which Latrell talked extensively. Well, he talked extensively to me about it. He mentioned it on the live stream last night. However, finding out that that's just with the Qualcomm models. Okay, if it has the Exynos 2100 chip, it supports that. So, international models will have that technology. The S21 here in the U.S. won't, obviously, because it's using the latest Snapdragon. So, bummer on that. And I see where Latrell's point of view is coming from. You know what I mean? Some places do not support mobile tap to pay per se, and so that was a way for him to still be able to kind of do that. And he mentioned Culver's, which I gotta say, Latrell, later, but if you watch this replay, bro, I love Culver's. We have Culver's here. I love going there all the time. But yeah, the fact that the S21 and the S21 Plus is reduced down to a 1080p display, that's kind of a bummer coming down from Quad HD. Yeah, I really don't know where Samsung was going with this. I mean, in all respect, it seems like a great phone. It really does. I'm not trying to like completely undercut it and say it's garbage. It's not. In my opinion, it's not garbage from what I'm hearing about it. But I see where they cut corners to bring pricing down slightly. But it really seems like that if you want to get like the full experience of the Galaxy S21, your best bet option is to just spend a shiny penny. I was gonna call it a shiny penny, and just get the S21 Ultra. Which I mean is gonna cost a grip. I mean, I don't know, maybe for guys, maybe they can sell one of their testicles to buy it. Who knows? I don't know. I just never really been one to chase after the Galaxy S series just because of like the extreme high price. I guess that's the reason why, last year I backed the Pixel 5, even though a lot of people were pissed off about it. It went with the Snapdragon 765G, and, it has the Snapdragon X52 modem rather than the X55 or even the X60, which, when the Pixel 5 was being built, the X60 wasn't even out yet. But I kind of appreciate it. I mean, yeah, Google cut corners with the Pixel 5, and to me, they made smart cuts to bring the price down. Now, it wasn't a dramatic price drop. Like, I really wish that some tech reviewers really wouldn't emphasize on the price drop. When you think about it, the Pixel 4 base model at launch was $799. Pixel 5 launched at $699, so a $100 difference. $100 difference is not significant in my eyes. If it was $599, then that would be something to scream about and say, hey, they really, really, really focus on bringing that price down with the Pixel 5. But yeah, with Samsung Galaxy devices, you can't really expect them to, to say cheap or budget or affordable does not ever fit in a sentence with Galaxy S series. Just never does. Even if they try to emphasize that and say that we were able to reduce the cost in pricing and that's why you're getting it $100 less than last year's, Galaxy S, it's like, well, it's still kind of pricey. I mean, I still feel like I have to chop off 2 of my fingers, just to be able to get that. And yeah, I don't know. But I am happy, though, in the fact that it does support millimeter wave across the board. Unlike Google in last year's Pixel releases, some were sub 6 gigahertz, so, some had millimeter wave support. I really dislike that. I really feel like that when it comes to like release devices, they should be across equally on a level playing field, especially if it's your own devices that are competing with each other in that per se. This is where I knock Google on that. they released the Pixel 4a, and that doesn't have 5G connectivity, but obviously because they released the Pixel 4a 5G, but the unlocked model is only sub 6 gigahertz compatible. You get the Verizon model of it that has millimeter wave, and then the Pixel 5 has millimeter wave and sub 6. But again, it only has a Snapdragon X52 modem. So compared to other devices, like especially the iPhone 12, but the iPhone 12 I think has the X55. It was a lot of people thought it was going to have the X60, but it didn't. It has the X55. But still, when you look at a connection with millimeter wave on Verizon and even on Visible, it's pulling some pretty decent speeds. Which leads me to my next topic, the update with Visible. I do have Visible on my Pixel 5 right now that I'm streaming off of, and so yeah, it's still connected to LTE. Here in Phoenix, DSS 5G is not opened up yet for Visible, much less is it opened up for the Pixel 5, and I'm kind of frowning about that when it comes to Visible. I mean, great company. I've had them for well over a year now, about a year and a half. This coming June will make 2 years that I've been with them. And so shout out to Pearl for hooking me up with the phone line. I mean, the phone line is actually consumer now. It was business when I was trying it out, when they approached me about it, and had me talk a little bit about the services, and the services is just fine. It is for what it is, to be expected out of a prepaid MVNO. Well, it's not really an MVNO because Verizon owns them, but I guess it is. And the fact that it's a very different type of phone service per se, the way that it's actually initially set up, it's cloud, right? So you really got to think about, this is why that there's like not any phone is supported on Visible, which would be nice if you can, as long as it was, compatible with Verizon's LTE bands, it should be able to work, but it's not. And I know that for the fact because having the Pixel 2 XL no longer being supported on Visible, unless you do my workaround, then you can actually get the Pixel 2 XL working on Visible. Since the Pixel 2 XL is no longer supported with software updates and security patches, which means that software updates won't break the connection between the device with the Visible SIM in it. I have a YouTube video explaining that, so you guys can find it on my YouTube channel. But anyways, yeah, it's kind of crappy. I mean, the only devices on Visible that supports its 5G connection is the iPhone 12 series. They have not opened up support for Pixel 5 or Pixel 4a 5G. If you have the Verizon model, that would be able to actually pick up on it. But then again, their connection with DSS 5G is not really to get do backflips over. While you look at Verizon and a lot of their devices that support ultra wideband, you can definitely see some huge speeds with the downlink and the uplink. Definitely can see that there. I mean, Carlos S. Tech did significant testing here in Phoenix and in Scottsdale. He did testing up in Las Vegas, and in Vegas he was pulling down about 4 gigs per second. Okay, and that's doing the Ookla speed test, doing fast.com. To test basically if your connection is throttled for video live streaming. I forgot what the results were, but they were pretty impressive. But that's Verizon's ultra wideband. Now we don't get that with Visible. So if you're on Visible and you're thinking because it uses Verizon and when 5G is available, you're going to be able to take advantage of ultra wideband. It's not happening. Okay, speeds is capped at 200 megabits per second. So, irregardless, I would say, while I am kind of disappointed that the Pixel 5 does not support 5G support on Visible, it's really not something to get overly upset about, just because without 5G, just on basic LTE with Visible, I pull about 119 to 120 megabits on the down, and the uplink is about 20 to 30, sometimes even peaking at 50 megabits per second on the uplink, which is really good for live streaming. The only downside to their network, their connection, is that the ping is very high. So online gaming is not going to be the best experience with Visible. However, the speeds of 120 on the downlink and about peak at 50 on the uplink That's pretty good. And the way that Visible's website basically says that how 5G would be, that your max speeds would be at 200 megabits per second. That's not far off. Like I can see if you're like normally getting 40 megabits on the down and maybe like 15 to 20 on the up, I can see 200 being a significant jump. But if you're already getting about 120, 130, and hell, even the homie Lawrence in Hawaii, he gets like about 140, 150. You're not far away from it already. So, but then again, you also have to look at just basically how the speeds will be delivered and whatnot. Obviously, carrier aggregation plays a very, very big role in it. A lot of those things come in mind. So I did want to touch base on Visible with that. And let's talk about AT&T Prepaid because I got to try them out for a month. I ended up buying an AT&T Prepaid SIM card. I threw it in all the phones that I have. So I ran it in my Pixel 5. It connected to 5GE. They said that 5G and AT&T was live here in Phoenix. I drove all over this frickin' city and I could not connect to 5G, like real 5G. I'm not talking about 5GE. 5GE is just LTE Advanced on AT&T. It's not true 5G. It's not using any NR radios. It's basically just using LTE band. So band 66. I believe it was using. But anyways, so with that being said, AT&T Prepaid didn't get any true 5G connections here in Phoenix at all whatsoever. But it was still reliable to that extent. What's up, Technoid? It was still reliable. Small differences between the prepaid account that I had with AT&T and then, of course, the Business Elite that I'm using. Subtle differences. With the Business Elite line, on the downlink, I was probably pulling maybe roughly about like 150, 160 megabits per second on the down here where I'm at, and about 70 on the up, which is pretty good. With the AT&T Prepaid, I was pulling about 140, 150 down, and about 30 to 40 on the up. So it really wasn't bad at all for prepaid. And that was on, I think it was their $70 plan, but with auto pay it was 65 or something like that. So yeah, I gotta say, definitely AT&T Prepaid, big thumbs up in my book. Actually pretty good. So, and then before I end this live stream, I will give people an update on Google Fi. As most people that know me from YouTube know that Google Fi is like my main line. And Google Fi uses T-Mobile's network. They're an MVNO. They were using Sprint and T-Mobile, but now T-Mobile and Sprint are one company. So they're just literally using T-Mobile, and then they're using US Cellular also. Now, when I said that I took my road trip to Oklahoma to go see my dad, I was actually kind of surprised that Google Fi actually was more dependable than Visible and AT&T Business Elite. There are places where AT&T just completely dropped out for connection with LTE or even 5GE. And also Visible's LTE just completely dropped out, yet the one that I thought wasn't going to be reliable, which was Google Fi on T-Mobile, happened to maintain a good connection throughout my entire road trip. And this was not only just, riding down on the Interstate 40, but also when we took the back highways, dropping from the I-40 right when we crossed the Arizona border coming back home. We took the back highways, going through Payson and everything to get back to Phoenix. So, and it maintained a connection. And even in certain places showed 5G. Now, I know it was only sub-6. It wasn't millimeter wave or anything like that. But still maintained a good connection. And so that was actually pretty good. Now, what I've noticed here in Phoenix is that normally when I did Google Fi speed testing, on their 5G, I was getting about 119, 120, sometimes like 105 on the down and 45 to 50 on the up. Just recently, they had to have made some upgrades to the towers around here for T-Mobile's network, because I literally got a speed test, and I'll post a screenshot later on here on the group. but I got I think close to three or not over 300 megabits on the down and about 70 to 80 on the up. So they're actually making some upgrades here in Phoenix, which I believe Phoenix is the sixth largest city in the United States. So good on them. I know the density out here is not that great. I had a conversation with Caleb about it, and we talked a little bit about it one time on Periscope. Yeah, so I kind of know the layout of the land and how that affects connection with the network. But still, 300 on the down, that's actually pretty good for what I've seen in the city. Because here in Phoenix, while it is it is a big city, sometimes it shocks me on just the connectivity. And that also, you have to think that, how many people are in this city and who's on the network, obviously, plays a big part in it. So, but yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you guys this morning. I'm gonna hop off here, and I know my face broke out. This is probably one of the worst things about being type 2 diabetic. Yeah, face breaks out, so that's why my face is looking a bit red. Hopefully that'll go away later on. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, diabetics problems, hashtag. Anyways, I do want to thank Eric Walker for watching. Technoid, thanks for popping in for a brief moment, man. Really appreciate you for coming in. Those that watched the replay, leave a comment, hashtag replay crew. Let me know what you guys think about the Galaxy S21. Are you guys satisfied with what you're going to get from it? Are you guys upset that it's lost certain things, like, they downscaled the resolution of the display? They don't have MST support for the Qualcomm model, but it is supported with the Exynos model. Are you guys, like, happy in the fact that all three models have millimeter wave support? And let me know what you guys think about the no charger in the box. Well, no AC adapter. Let me get that clear. There is going to be a data sync cable, just no AC charging box. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And I want to thank everybody that accepted the invite to the Geeks Den. Thank you guys so much. And I tell everyone, feel free to post whatever you guys want in the timeline feed for everybody. Share. If you're a YouTuber, share your videos here too. Let people on here find your videos. I know some people that I've invited here don't follow on the YouTube side of things. So if you want to get more views on your videos, you're more than welcome to share your videos here. If you do live streams on YouTube, you can share the link to your live streams here on the group feed. Gene, what's up, man? Catch the replay, bro. I'm about to end it right now. But yeah, I implore all my friends that are on YouTube that have accepted the invite to come into the group page to share your videos here for people to find it. And again, like I said, this is the Geeks Den. It's not just only about phones. It can be whatever. You can talk Star Wars, you can talk Star Trek, you can talk Spider-Man, you can talk MCU, you can talk DC, you can talk movies, you can talk comics, toys, whatever. I don't care. If it's geeky, it is definitely allowed here. So until then, yeah, I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Gene, for coming in. You came in, even though you're late, you came in, but catch the replay. Peace.